Hey, good morning, everybody. I think it's still morning. This is Coach Bill with Fat Loss Made Easy Solution. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday here in the Menifee, Temecula, Marietta Valley. We've finally gotten some long overdue rain. Hopefully, it'll rain most of the day and most of the day tomorrow. Today, guys, I want to follow up on a video I did yesterday or a couple days ago. And the topic for today, guys, is the forgotten fat burning hormone. Now, I don't think I've heard any health guru, because I do check on YouTube on other health gurus out there, because continual education is very important, and there's some pretty good health professionals out there that do YouTube channels on different ways or different programs on how to lose that belly fat or body fat or how to reverse diseases. So I like to check them out and see what they have to say. Some of them will put science on there, which I really like, because that's what I'd like to do. I like to back up what I say with science. But I think it was yesterday or a couple of days ago, I did a very important video on changing your mindset and the public's mindset to get away from the idea, which the Western diet plan has been preaching since 1974, I think it has, and to get away from and to inform you that any of the professional trainers out there or health professionals, if they're promoting calories in and calories out to lose that hard to or unwanted belly fat or body fat or hip fat or butt fat, that isn't going to do it. And science has already told us that for decades, basically. And most of you guys probably already know it because it's not working. Now, some of you may lose some weight, but it comes right back on really, really easy. And there's some physiology, there's some reasons why, and if you understand the physiology of the body, then you'll understand why the weight comes back so fast. I'm not going to get into that because I have mentioned in my last videos. You can go to my YouTube channel, type in Bill Mabry, subscribe to it, or go to my Weight Loss Made Easy Solution group Facebook page and join it. And that video I did yesterday, calories in and calories out, will be there so you can review it after you've listened to this one here. But guys, you got to realize something here. You got to realize that calories in and calories out isn't the root cause or isn't going to promote what you're looking to lose, that fat, your belly fat or your hip fat or your butt fat or whatever fat you want to lose on your back. And that the video I did yesterday explained why, and I'm just going to briefly review it right now. I got my notes here. So every once in a while, you guys might see my head kind of go up like this as I'm looking at my notes. Is because my glasses, I have bifocals on the bottom. That's what happens when you get older. But you first of all, guys, you know that I talk a lot about hormonal imbalance. And I talk a lot about you have to find the root cause to whatever issue you have that you're looking to reverse or cure or whatever you want to call it. And I particularly am working on people that are pre-diabetic, type 2 diabetic, fatty liver, obesity, and also cancer, because it all relates. Now, guys, you have to understand that these diseases that we're talking about, most all of them are induced by food, by the Western American diet or the processed foods you guys have been eating for decades, especially those of you that are carboholics and that are eating a lot of starchy foods at all 3 of your meals per day. You're causing some very dangerous medical issues in the future if you keep that up. And it's nothing new. I mean, science has been trying to tell us this for decades, and why is our country so sick? Why is type 2 diabetes an epidemic in the young and old today? Why is autism an epidemic? Why is high blood pressure? I mean, it just keeps going on and on. You guys got to look at what's the root cause of all this, and most of it is the lifestyle that most of the people in the United States are living. So so with that topic of the hormone that isn't mentioned very often, and I touched on it in my video yesterday, you guys, I'm going to say this a couple times, I want you to really listen to what I'm about to say. Now, before I do that, I am drinking my black coffee. This is Saturday, so this is a fasting day for me, but I'm only going to 20 hours. I don't go to my 24 or 36 hour. So I'm going to probably have 4 scrambled eggs with a little bit of cheese in it to close my fast off at 20 hours. And then I'll probably have dinner around 6, which will be a primal meal or a keto meal. So that's my program for the day. But I just got back from the gym. I did a little bit of shoulders, and I did a little bit of cardio too. So you guys have to understand that it's imbalanced hormones that's causing most of you to have a really hard time getting that belly fat off, or that hip or butt fat and back, or wherever the fat is. And imbalanced hormones also has an effect on different or calories in, calories out. The calories of certain foods also has an effect on hormones, and that's why in my last video I did, I put in there, we touched on hormones and different types of calories. Listen to what I'm saying here. This is very important to know what could possibly be the issue with why you can't keep that weight off, or why you're having such a hard time. It's different types of calories. Now, foods are calories, right? Okay, different types of calories provoke different hormonal response. Those are the 2 key words there, guys. Hormonal response. The clients that come to me with either prediabetes or type 2 diabetes or a fatty liver or obesity, or just want to lose that hard to get off body fat, most all of them have hormonal issues because of their lifestyle, and because of the food they eat, and because of the type of water they're drinking. They're causing their body to be very acidic, lots of inflammation. Most all of them, if not all of them, have sick guts, and that has a lot to do with your hormones. You guys remember what I've said in the past? 80% of your immune system is in the gut, and if your gut is sick, you're going to have a depressed immune system. Now, how many people out there that you know have issues with their gut? Well, that has to be fixed too, along with the fatty liver. That has to be fixed before the hormones are balanced. But there's certain hormones that are causing you to gain fat. There's one particular hormone that's really an issue. And more and more doctors, there's actually a doctor out there by the name of Dr. Jason Fung. He's a top kidney specialist. For the last decade or so, he's been reversing type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, fatty liver, and obesity. And now he wrote a book on how to reverse cancer by changing your lifestyle, by changing the types of foods you're eating, and by changing the time you're eating those foods, because now science is showing, and other scientists are showing by their own documentation, their own science research on their own patients, that cancer can be starved by going on a higher fat diet and doing intermittent and prolonged fasting along with primal eating or a ketogenic diet. They have plenty of case studies showing them they're able to shrink cancer tumors, especially in the brain. Dr. Thomas Seyfield from Boston College is now doing multiple seminars to other doctors showing his research and his x-rays on how he was able to shrink cancer cells in the brain by just changing a person's lifestyle. But the calories of the food has a major effect and a hormonal response on storing fat. So in that video that I talked about yesterday, I talked about a couple of hormones out there. These are just a couple. There's more, of course. Is insulin number one? That's your actual fat storage hormone that most of you have out of control. MTOR is activated by eating protein, and that's your hormone that helps you to synthesize protein better to build muscle. If you're looking to add lean muscle at any age, there's no age limit to add lean muscle. So that myth of you guys thinking that you're too old to add lean muscle, that's BS. Who's ever telling you that, they're totally wrong and they have no idea what they're talking about. There's also a hormone out there that Dr. Jason Fung really talks a lot about, if you read his obesity code book, is peptide YY. Now that hormone is induced by protein also, and it is induced by intermittent fasting as well. And it is an appetite depressor. It tells your body, it says a signal to the brain that you're no longer hungry. You don't need to eat. But the one that I'm going to talk about today briefly is, I mentioned it yesterday. This is the one that I have not heard any health professionals talk about yet, but it has a huge factor in helping you lose that belly fat, body fat, and keeping it off for the rest of your life. Because then, if you're educated on what activates it and how it can be activated, then you'll know what to do. Okay? And Dr. Jason Fung is the only one that I've heard talk about this fat-burning hormone so far. And so, and I also have science that I'll put in the description section of my YouTube, so you can click on it and you'll see the science behind it. But the name is very hard for me to pronounce, so I'm not going to even attempt it. But the research that I found for it, what they did is they abbreviated it. So that's how I'm going to call it. So I'm going to call this hormone CCK. And I'm going to explain basically what CCK is and how it's activated. Okay? So it is not simply the number of calories. Now this is off of one of the research sites. It is not simply the number of calories that matter. It is what your body does with it. I'm going to say it one more time. I want you to really understand this, because if you know this, you'll be able to reach your goals or get to the results much faster. It is not simply the number of calories. Now, how many of you heard calories in, calories out is the only way you're going to lose that fat? Well, this is telling you, no, that's not what it's all about. So it's not simply the number of calories that matter. It's what your body does with those calories. Now, remember what I said up here? I said different types of calories provoke different hormonal responses. There's the key. There's the root cause of why most Americans are overweight, because they've lost control of certain hormones. Now, this CCK, I'll give you a brief, I'm not going to go through all this, but insulin is a major factor. It's a hormone that is activated by eating too many carbs per meal, and insulin is your fat burning or your fat storing hormone. That's the one that's causing type 2 diabetes, premature diabetes, and a fatty liver, because you're spiking your insulin too high for too long. You're not giving your body a chance to burn off that glucose. Insulin and glucose work together. Insulin is the key to each one of your cells. So when you have carbohydrates, like a lot of starchy carbs, your body will secrete insulin through the pancreas. That key is then floated through into the cell. It opens the cell up, opens the door, and it gives your body, the blood will put the glucose or the sugar into that cell to be used throughout the body as energy. That's what insulin is. Problem is that here in the United States, where most people are carboholics and they're doing massive amounts of carbs 3, 4, 5 times a day, and they don't even know it. They could be doing 4, 5, 6, 800 grams per day. During my, if we want to lose more, trim up and really see our six pack or get ready for a photo shoot or something, my carbs are down to 20 grams a day or less per day. Okay? And so what happens is, what causes premature aging and type 2 diabetes? Insulin resistance, meaning that you've got way too much glucose floating around the blood, and your cells can no longer take it. So the key is locked, the door is locked, and your cells can't take any more sugar in. So now it's in the blood. Well, the body will die if you have way too much sugar. So it gets rid of it through urine, sweating, or other. And that's how you measure. You measure the glucose and tells you how many, if you're a type 2 diabetic, you're going to have an overload of it. Okay? So, but CCK, this is what I got off Google first. I'll tell you what CCK is. This is what Google says. CCK depresses the appetite. Good. This is the key here. Now, why am I doing primal eating, and which is, you guys know, is keto, and I combine it with intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting because they both work together very efficiently. When you put them both together, it really escalates your fat burning. But this is the key to CCK, that dietary fat. That's why I do 75% fat, 20% protein. 20% protein activates what? It activates MTOR. It activates peptide YY, which depresses the appetite. Okay. Then on top of that, you eat more good dietary fat, and guess what? That activates CCK. So you're really activating hormones that is telling your body you're no longer you're not hungry. Don't overeat. You don't have to eat, or you're not going to eat for 12, 15, 16 hours. You see what I'm saying, guys? You're activating hormones that is going to tell your brain you don't need any food. You got plenty of micronutrients floating around to keep you satisfied, so you're not going to go through so many hunger waves. Okay? And by the way, if you do at that time, you're not hungry, you're thirsty. Just drink some water, lots of water with some sea salt. It actually will lower the hormone that's trying to tell you you are hungry. That's what sabotages most of you when you're trying to do intermittent or prolonged fasting. Is you go through a hunger wave and you don't know how to. It's a hormone. It's activated. You got to lower it. And how do you do that? Sea salt, pink sea salt with some water. Okay. Here's another explanation of CCK, the hormone. CCK is a gut hormone released after a fat meal, which helps digestion and reduces appetite. So CCK is working double jobs here. Not only is it going to reduce your appetite, it also helps with digestion. And then, of course, I put a couple of case studies there, which will be in the description section of this YouTube. Now, I'm going to give you really, really quick. Now, there's the hormone I was talking about that's causing you to be hungry. It's known as ghrelin. And ghrelin activates hunger. This is your internal clock. So when you understand what ghrelin is and how it's activated, then you can lower it when you get that little hunger wave pretty fast. Everybody has ghrelin. That's just how it works. And it's just your time clock. I'm not going to get into it. You guys can go to my video I think my video I did yesterday, I explained a little bit more about it. Now, let me say it one more time. When you eat these calories, it has a hormone response. So when you eat calories, it has a hormonal response. You eat starchy carbs, say 3 meals per day, you activate insulin. Excess insulin is stored as fat. That's a response when you have too many carbs. Now, the real question is, what hormones are you activating causing you to lose fat? Well, you have to know these. There's different ones out there, which is what we teach on our online coaching program. You guys can go to my drinnatureswater@gmail.com email, and you can message me, and I'll send you some more information about that. But the key here, change the type. This is what Dr. Fung says in his seminar. Change the type of calories you're eating and how often you are eating to be able to lose fat. Now, that's exactly what he says, okay? Now, real quick, and I'm almost done here. You're going through my online personal coaching. We have you set up on a plan. We found a plan that actually works with your lifestyle, and that includes primal eating, keto meals, combining it with intermittent and prolonged fasting. So we have that plan. You could be doing a 16-hour fast. We're doing an alternate day fasting. I'm really, really, really highly motivated with that, and I put all my clients on it. But you're doing alternate day fasting. So Monday's we'll just use that as an example. Monday's a non-fasting day. Tuesday could be 16 hours, 18 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours, or 36 hours, whatever works good for you. Wednesday is non-fasting. Thursday is fasting. Friday is non-fasting. And Saturday will be semi-fasting. And Sunday is a day to do whatever you want. Okay, now, the absolute goal, you've heard me talk about this many times, is to become fat adapted and keto adapted in order to get your six-pack and have your six-pack for the rest of your life. That's the objective there. You can go to my YouTube channel or my Facebook group page and look at some of the videos about it. Now think about this. This is why intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting is so important to combine it with these foods to activate certain hormones, okay, calories. Now, you're fat adapted, you're ketone adapted, and you're going to do a 20-hour fast or a 24-hour fast. You're not going to have any calories at all for that period of time. Zero. So you have no glucose left in the liver to use as your primal or your primary energy level. So your body has to go where to find energy or food? Well, it has to go to your own stored fat. See, that's what you're looking to do. You want to burn that belly fat or that butt or that hip fat? You got to burn your own stored body fat. Doesn't that kind of make sense? It does to me. I hope it does to you. You got to burn your own body fat. And so that's why intermittent and prolonged fasting is so important. Yeah, you can produce ketones by eating fats, but what's the body burning? Food fat. It's not burning your own fat. So you got to give your body a chance to burn its own body fat. So you have all these fat stores, trillions and trillions of cells that are full of fat, right? Well, you're not eating. Your body needs something to energize itself to survive for that day. So it goes into your fat cells. This is crazy stuff. Let me get some coffee real quick. It goes into your fat cells and it draws out the fat, puts it into the liver, and then converts it into ketones, which is known as rocket fuel or energy for the brain, which is what you want to. Okay, you become fat adapted. So your primary energy source will always be fat in your own fat cells. You're going to draw from that before you're going to draw from the glucose you eat. They both work together. You could burn both. Once you become fat adapted, you can burn both at the same time. How cool is that? While you're eating carbs, you can also burn your own fat. That's really cool. That's why fat adaptation and ketone adapted is so important to understand what that means. But if you're dipping into your own cells and drawing the fat out of there, what did I say here? I said here that CKK is a depressing appetite. Good dietary fat activates this hormone. Why do you think Emily and I are so consistent on 24-hour fasting and 36-hour fastings, and we have no problem getting through it? Yeah, we still have some body fat to draw from. And so if I'm drawing from my own fat cells, and CKK is a depressant of appetite, and I'm taking that fat from those cells, dumping it into my liver, what am I activating? I'm activating CKK, so that's why I'm not hungry. Why do you think somebody is obese and we can do 72 hours fasting, 4-day fastings, 5-day fasting with an obese person? Because they have so much fat. Their body's satisfied. It's activating a couple of hormones, especially if you're eating protein, your peptide YY, you're activating a hormone that is depressing the hormone that's causing you to be hungry. So you don't get into the environment of ghrelin, because ghrelin isn't activated because you're satisfied. Your body's not signaling to the brain you're hungry. So ghrelin is not going up. It's staying in that safe level. So does that make sense, guys? I think so. So guys, like I said, if you want to know more about this, you can go to my drinnatureswater@gmail.com, message me, and I'll give you some information on my online personal coaching that will teach you about the truth behind why you're having such a hard time losing that belly fat or body fat or reversing type 2. Now, I also like you to share this with your friends, because this information is very good. It's science-backed. And your friends and family members, they need to know about this stuff, because nobody's really talking about these hormones. Everybody's talking about different meals and meal plans and this and that, and you can go online and buy pre-made meals, and that's going to make you lose weight. It might at first, not going to last, because you're not doing what? You're not addressing the actual root cause of why you can't keep that weight off. You're not doing that. You have to understand that. Like I said, science has been telling about this. Is nothing new. None of this I told you is new. It's kind of old stuff. But nobody is really using it still, even though there are doctors that are now really pushing it. And it is getting better. I've got a couple of doctors I'm working with that understand it. So it is getting better, but in my lifetime, will they actually promote this, primal eating or keto, combining it with intermittent and prolonged fasting to help reverse diseases? Probably not. And why is that? There's no money in it for them. Once you understand this, you're actually going to save money on food. You can't imagine how much money Emily and I are saving. Not only are our bodies are so healthy, but I'm saving money at the exact same time, and I'm buying mostly all organic and grass-fed or pasture-raised grass-fed food meats. So they're more expensive, but I'm still saving money. Okay, so guys, like I said, go to my YouTube channel. Type in Bill Mabry, subscribe to it. Check out the video I did yesterday on this topic. Hope you saw some value in it. Please share it, and we'll see you guys at the next video.